Hey, cats. Old Swine here with you. Today, we're going to talk a little bit about Biden's so-called student debt forgiveness and how it's not really going to help anyone, but it's actually going to hurt everybody. But first, you know how we do. We like to smoke with our bullshit. So, you want to hit it? Here it go. What's good, everybody? Welcome to the show. Like I said, we're going to talk about Biden's so-called student loan forgiveness, which boils down to, debt transferal. First we'll go into the economic portion of it. It's basically the Cloward Priven strategy. All right, this is to overwhelm the populace and the system with debt, to clamor for bigger government, basically. This is taxation without representation. And it's coming at a time when the country is feeling some serious economic woes, right? Inflation is at the highest it's been in my lifetime, at least since I was an infant. Goods and services, again, all-time highs, fuel, what have you. A lot of struggling going on, right? And that's not to say someone with student loans is not struggling, but it's, you took a loan on, predicated on the fact that you were going to pay it back. Okay, it's the same as purchasing a car or what have you. It's just that it's for more of a personal benefit, long term, than like an automobile loan. But it's still a loan that you took on the basis of, you paying it back with or without interest, what have you. It's not going to really help, as far as, the average student loans are higher than 10 grand. So, I mean, while it may knock some of your debt off, it's not going to totally erase your debt, and it's not going to prevent you from still having to make payments. All right. And even as far as that's concerned, right? Who's the third most powerful person, not only in the country but basically in the world, man? It's old lizard skin Nancy Pelosi, right? And here's a little comparison on her own words. Check this out.
The President of the United States has the power for debt forgiveness. He does not. He can postpone, he can delay, but he does not have that power. That has to be an act of Congress.
Well, we're excited about the president because we didn't know what authority the president had to do this, and now clearly it seems he has the authority to do this. $10,000 for those with debt, those making under $125,000 a year. So we're optimistic about what might happen tomorrow.
See, so even though Lizard Skin Overlord told you, I mean, this is not legal. Regardless of her flipping her script now and saying, well, I guess he does have the authority. I'm sure it will probably be overturned in court. And, again, this is like a grift, right? Because either way, this is like a buying votes, right? So if they get it to pass, then they buy votes from people that want free shit and want their neighbors stolen from by threat of force and imprisonment. But then if the court tosses it out, right? If it goes before, let's say, the Supreme Court and it gets tossed out, then they can go, oh, well, this is a Trump-appointed judge. So we're going to need your votes, come here to keep to keep control of the Senate so we can actually pass this, by act of Congress and Senate. It's political theater. It's weaponization of debt and your neighbor's pocketbook, basically. And, again, economically, if you look at how long, the government has been quasi-funding education, basically for decades, the same with healthcare, right? And the pattern that you'll notice if you, go just research, minimally, you'll see that the more money the federal government throws at these entities year over year, the higher the costs go. So they're not helping anyone. They're making things exponentially worse. And as far as I said, they're incentivizing these schools to charge more because the government's going to throw money at you, so they're going to offset that. They're going to get that government money, plus they're still going to charge you that full tuition. Yeah, I mean, don't believe me? Again, read up on the shit.
Talking about combating inflation by increasing government spending is like combating a fire with more fire. It makes absolutely no sense. If the objective is to reduce inflation, three things have to happen. First, the quantity of money in the economy has to be reduced, and the quantity of money is set by the central bank by massively repurchasing assets. Additionally, rates have to go up. Second, and more importantly, what government has to do is to reduce government spending, because on the way in, when central banks inject masses of liquidity and lower rates, inflation has been generated by putting all that liquidity to government spending in current spending that has no real economic return. What happens then is that it creates artificial demand. So what you don't do is to reduce the impact of artificial demand created by newly generated units of currency by killing the private sector. You need to reduce government spending, increase rates, and reduce the amount of money in the system, which has gone fundamentally to government spending.
So as you can plainly see, these cats are doing the exact opposite of what any level-headed economist, would have them do. They are quagmiring everybody in debt, and they're going to moral grandstand on it for votes. And there's going to be a portion of the population that's going to buy into it and give these fucking lizards more power. And it is directly taxation without representation, because I know I didn't vote on it. I never heard my reps talk about it. And it's going to increase my taxes, and it's going to increase yours too. So even if you take it and feel that, you're going to benefit from it, it's going to increase your taxes, and it's going to increase inflation, which is going to increase the cost of everything, right? So, there's no such thing as a free lunch. And besides some grandstanding, and political theater and controlled toads of the MSM, these lizards can't even defend their bullshit either. Anytime that you see, their largest proponents, we'll use Liz Warren, perfect example, got a clip for that. That stand everywhere and talk about, this student debt, forgiveness. They can't defend their shit when they're approached by an average person. Here's a prime example of that. Pretty funny shit. Smell you after.
I just want to ask one question. My daughter's getting out of school. I've saved all my money. She doesn't have any student loans. Am I going to get my money back? Of course not. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not anybody got screwed. When we
Of
started,
course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's worksheet is 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
I appreciate
That's
it.
all right.
Right? So there it was. Dude hit the nail on the head, and you see the deer in the headlights in front of him. It's not like that. It is exactly like that. You were taking from people who either did things right and did, financed themselves or what have you, or their children. And you're also taking from the people that didn't have the opportunity or chose not to go to college and pursue, trades and careers outside of that. It's definitely a snake eating its own tail scenario. it's in, they're definitely going to have a hard time not only defending this to, anybody that doesn't buy into their shit, but also, courts from, I would assume, the lowest to the highest. This is not going to be looked at as constitutional. And definitely, like I said, is, without representation, right? Because this is just executive fiat, basically, without it being an act of Congress. And as far as, the bleeding heart bullshit, you're helping. I mean, there's a difference between, a hand up and a hand out. Okay. And forcing other people to pay the debts of one group at the threat of force, imprisonment and up into including death now with the whole, Biden's army building up. Which, I'll leave with a little clip of that, which is, hilarious. I mean, the left actually thinks it's good that this guy's expanding, a government entity and running, ads to where you have to be willing to use lethal force against your own people over arbitrary shit. So, we truly are being, ruled over by lizard overlords. And they are going to continue to destroy this country in order to hold on to the sliver of a mandate and power that they still have. To me, it's kind of an awakening right now. I see more people commenting on social issues and political issues than I have since 2012, the Ron Paul Revolution thing. Which if the up-to-date information train here can work its magic without being censored, we can stop, the stamp out that happened then. The only thing I can say, is that this is the equivalent to me of you hiring someone to pay your car note that you took a loan out on that you now decided is not, worth the cost, basically. It's the same thing. Biden's going to basically give somebody some money, a group of people money, if they're going to hire a bunch of goons with firearms to come make you pay that money. So, you know what to do. New channel, hit that sub button for me. If you want to debate or argue, hit me up. I'll have you on, or we can talk privately, whichever you're more comfortable with. Come back for some more bullshit, chronic, good news, bad news. Smell you later.
I was going to put him.
Idiots.